Alright everybody, welcome back to another Friday Night Magic tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name, as always, is Zachary Evans, and we're already underway with our Round 1 feature match. 4 rounds of Swiss tonight, followed by a cut to top 8. Please ignore the title, as I've forgotten to update it, as we are playing Standard tonight. We tried to run a Modern event, but not enough people, they were simultaneous events and not enough people signed up for Modern to make it fire, so we're back to Standard, so I apologize for that inadvertent bait and switch. But we got Magic. Nevertheless, for those of you who are watching live, instead of watching the Pro Tour, you are very dedicated. We appreciate that valor. So on the left, it's Zach Viglianco, our resident brewmaster. He's playing green-white enchantments. He's got a Fleece main line with an Imperial armor on it and a Mana Bloom with 1 counter, facing off against Garrett Meadows, who's playing a basically mono-green devotion deck, splashing red for Xenagos and some sideboard cards. And he's off to the races here with Elvish Mystic into Caryatid, into Nykthos Activate with the Nylea, and a Garrett Caller of Beasts, or the Garrett putting the Nylea into play. So Zach untapping here with his 4/4 Fleece main lion, 5/5 first striking Fleece main lion. The Nylea is active here, so it's going to be difficult for him to attack into it. We're going to go monstrous on the Fleece main lion. So it is now indestructible. And it's going to get incredibly big over the course of the game, so channeling a little bit of the Naya Hexproof deck of ages old, Zach's serving in here with his now 6/6 first striking Fleece main lion. There's really no reason, I think, for Garrett not to block. So, and I think Zach just forgot how indestructible worked there, realizing that it wouldn't die, but not realizing that there's really no point in attacking here. So he's probably going to take some collateral damage on the way back, though. Garrett can't really attack with Nylea if he wants to keep his Garrett around. Garrett +1, revealing a Xenagod, Sylvan Caryatid, and a Pelucranos. So Garrett well and truly ahead here. That Garrett seems to be, having playtested against Garrett with this deck a considerable amount, the Garrett seems to be the most important card in the deck. This deck kind of hinges on some big haymakers, and if you can exhaust the deck of its resources, it basically plays off the top of its deck. It has to run very good in that instance, but Garrett allows him to refill, oftentimes drawing 3, 4, or 5 cards. So casting a Xenagos, then playing an Elvish Mystic and a Scavenging Ooze. Using the Xenagod trigger on Nylea. That's good for an attack all the way down to 8. So Zach, despite a pretty good draw here, seems to be coming up just a little bit short here. He has a Sphere of Safety deck. He has Eidolon of Blossoms Mana Bloom combo for some card advantage. Looks like he's playing Nykthos as well. So Zach clearly in a spot here. He's found an Eidolon of Blossoms. That's not really going to do anything in the long term. Might keep him alive as a chump blocker. Does cycle, so continue to dig through here. But Garrett now activating his Nykthos for an incredible amount of mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then tapping 3 more for 11. So there's a Genesis Hydra for 9, I believe. There is 9. So he's going to look at the top 9 cards of his library, find any of the permanents to put into play, as they will all meet the under 9 cost requirement here. Hornet Queen is the big ticket item. Xenagos the Reveler will be perfectly fine as well. Now he can have another crap load of mana if he wants to take Xenagos up. Zach pointing out the flavor fail of having 2 kinds of Xenagos on board. Garrett does in fact plus the Xenagos Planeswalker, allowing him to play a Polukranos into a Voyaging Satyr. Gives the Polukranos haste with Xenagos and serves in with 2 gods and the 5/5. And that is going to be enough, as Zach can't block enough to survive at only 8. So we're underway here in Game 2. Zach Viglianco down. The game had a pretty good start with the Fleecemane Lion into an Ethereal Armor and some utility enchantments, but Garrett showing the potential out of the Devotion deck as he cast what I think was a turn 3 Garrett Caller of Beasts. So Zach on the mull to 6 here. I don't know what that card is. I'll be back.
Yes, it's just Constellation. Constellation. If he doesn't kill me before I get to play, you'll see some fun stuff. But he's probably going to kill me.
Probably. Alright, so that's Oath of the Ancient Something. Classic Zach Viglianco card. We'll bring that up for those of you at home like myself who have never seen that. So he gets to put a +1/+1 counter on that because of the Oath trigger, I believe, as he plays his Mana Bloom. When I went out there to see what that card was, Zach said, if he doesn't kill me quickly, I'll get to do some fun stuff. But it looks like Garrett is trying very hard to kill him quickly. Turn 3 Polukranos into a turn 4 Genesis Hydra, or Genesis Hydra 4/4. And then Garrett's just going to serve in here. 4/5 with his Polukranos. Voyaging Satyr coming off the top because of the Hydra. So Zach in a bit of a pickle here, facing down not an unstoppable army, but Garrett has assembled Nykthos Voyaging Satyr combination here. His current devotion is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he'll be able to make 8. Go down to 6, make it like 14 mana if he doesn't play a land. So there is a Eidolon of Blossoms. Be able to draw a card off of that. He'll get a trigger off of the Oath, make a bigger Eidolon of Blossoms. I think I misspoke earlier. Mana Bloom is not a creature. I don't know why I thought that it was. And Zach just serves back. So Zach's stuck in that awkward spot that he's often in. His deck is super fun and it has a lot of fun interactions, but oftentimes he is dead before any of them come to pass. As he is facing down a 4/4 to 5/5, as well as about 1 billion mana. 16 mana I believe Garrett has access to here between his Nykthos and his Satyr, assuming he doesn't play another land. So Garrett considering his options. At this point, basically everything in his deck is live. We see a Reclamation Sage there off the top. So Garrett does activate Nykthos for Devotion. Untaps it with Satyr, does it all again. I believe the count, as I said earlier, is 16. Chains another Nykthos, go down to 14, add 8, 22. 22 mana. Monstrous Pelucranos. Monstrous Pelucranos. Zach just realizing the interaction there between Satyr and Nykthos. Monstrous Pelucranos for 7. And serve in with everybody. And that's going to be good enough. So Devotion rearing its ugly head yet again. Nykthos and cards like Burning Tree, Emissary,